in your ano naman kaya, in your practice, like how was your experience also with your kids with ADHD? What do you really work on na skills with them? And sa personal life, kasi as therapists, we're not only like, parang walang masyadong boundary between our personal and our work life. Kasi it's part of the
Oh, for that.
therapeutic process na pati
So
home life
true.
nila. So ano po yung mga napapansin po ninyo na skills na kailangan po ng help with speech pathology and
Ang
yung
nakita ko,
experiences?
ang nakita ko kasi, like, when they're young pa, they would start as communication disorders or like social problematic disorders. They would
Mm.
say that he's so bright, but he doesn't listen. Walang listening skills yung iba, no? So, well, ang usual speech pathologist dati, syempre, kuha kami ng standardized tool, tapos, usually, kapag meron yung mga standardized test, I guess, hindi nila yung napapasa. Kasi standardized. Di ba? Yung
Yes.
exam. So, yun din siguro yung nangyayari dun sa ibang school. On the other end of the spectrum, sinasabi ko nga ng autism, ADHD, the bright one. They are good test takers. Meron ganun, yung sobrang obsessed about exam, but their social skills are
Mm.
not all good. No? So, ang nakita ko is that more than the exam, it's very good to always ask the parents, what's your main concern? And yun nga, babalik ka na, very bright, pero hindi nakikinig.
Yeah,
No? Which is
yeah.
usually lalabas, kunyari, hindi nakikinig, pero sa teacher nakikinig. May ganon din.
Yes.
Kasi a teacher is a school factor, di ba? There's home,
Authority.
school, and then there's another thing, work, or it's the play environment. Like, kunwari, with me, before, well, my mom prepares everything for me before. So, hindi ko kailangan maging organized. Well, so came a traumatic experience that my mom died. So I
Oh.
have to do things on my own. So kailangan ko maging organized. And those experience, when I become like a therapist, tapos titignan ko yung child, feeling ko nagkakaroon ako ng self-reflection na alam ko kung ano iniisip mo. May ganun akong, ewan ko, I'm not sure if that's going on with you also, na
Yes,
parang,
yes.
you're not that you know, but you insisted this feel na this is how he thinks. So you try
Another
another way
way.
of teaching. Another
Exactly.
way of teaching. Which I found out kasi like most ADHD kids are really, well, interest-based.
Mm-mm.
Right? So they're very interest-based na my experiences would be right now, they don't like school. They would say, I hate my teacher. Ganyan sila. Diba?
Yes, yes.
So, kasi they don't like school. That's what I'm saying about cognitive rigidity.
Yeah.
Because these are the bright kids, ah. Teacher, kasi hindi niya sinasabi yung something na that interests him. These are the verbal
Yes.
kids. And the verbal kids can be ADHD. And
Yes.
how do I help them? Kasi nga ako, well, I love my research kahit hindi nagawa sa Pilipinas. Na wala masyadong trauma-informed therapist sa Pilipinas. Pero trauma-informed therapist, not trauma-informed speech pathologist. Wala pang ganun talaga.
Yes,
But
yes.
I am just familiar kasi, yun nga, well, if I'm going to talk about my experience, when I had my significant human experience sa traumatic ng konti, what I did is I did retreat. And when I did retreat, yun, may mga trauma-informed therapy. And with
Oh.
trauma-informed therapist, kailangan, you know, ano yung trauma. These people who have trauma are the same people din. The same rin daw sa experience with ADHD. They have problem with their prefrontal
Prefrontal
cortex,
cortex.
which is the
Oh.
executive function. It makes sense na parang you don't look at your child or you don't look at the child based on the child. It does.
Yes.
I mean, you have to ask the family what are their concerns, no? Not only that, what significant human experience has happened is traumatic, adverse to the family. Not
Mm-hmm.
traumatic, but adverse, not to be good or bad. Then,
Yes.
what works and what was the interest of the child? What is he not interested in? And what I have learned from actually researching then about ADHD, what helps actually is the positive language, parent-child behavioral.
Oh, that's so
Which,
great.
which is very good kasi ang ginagawa lang nun, actually mukha siyang tele ngayon. Kasi what
Mm-mm.
happens is there's a child and then there's a parent. And then if you affirm nga kasi that he needs support, the
Yeah.
therapist will be telling how to support the child's interest.
Oh my gosh, it's so early development.
Oh, which is good. Kasi when you look into executive function skills, you talk about self-control. You
Yes.
talk about self-evaluation. You talk about self-motivation. You talk about self-talk. Hindi naman yan agad nandun. Diba?
Mm-hmm. It's
He should be
learned.
modeled. They should be modeled while you were a child. You have to give like a positive environment and a positive internal language. Ideally, mas madaming positive internal language. Kaya
Yes.
siya positive. Not that it's toxic positivity. But I think the cognitive theory of it is that you are teaching the child how to think for himself. They work on the relationship with the parent and the child.
Oo. So,
Kasi
it's
may
attachment
interest yung
based.
child. Yes, there's a parent, there's a child. You work on their relationship na dapat supportive yung
Mm-mm.
parent.
In the ano po kasi in our society po kasi it's very authoritative, it's very
True, true.
academic, it's very
True.
strict and ano, kailangan parang hindi mo pa tinuruan yung child, kailangan gets niya na agad kung anong kailangan
Yun.
gawin.
And kaya it's a very important thing na right now, and which is what you do, you have to be there to be very supportive. It's a little bit hard, diba, to tell the parents na ganun, but I think that's our role. How
That's
to give cues or modify the environment so that it
yes.
would be a more preferred task. Kasi parang one of the speech pathologists that I've seen who's also ADHD but thriving hard in the US tells his patients the value of persistence, which of course we don't,
Persist.
which is very hard. And persistence is what we need for
Yes.
less preferred mundane tasks.
Yes. Like for ano din po, it's also the same for autism kasi sa
True, true.
exercise for autism
Diba?
certification ko, it's really persistence over perfection. And I think,
Yun.
di ba po, parang yun po yung mahirap na aralin po dito in the Philippines because we always strive for perfection even though we're still new at the task or if
True.
we're still learning lang po sa task. Kaya ang daming na-frustrate kasi there's this
True.
comparison, there's this internal resentment na tapos yung persistence tuloy nawawala kasi give up na lang. Hindi ako perfect at one time eh.
Or, yun nga. I think yun, hindi ko alam kung nabanggit ko na. Yun, kaya it's a very big practice in the US. The growth mindset. Na parang, it, you should praise the effort and not the intelligence or not the skill, but praise the effort of doing the skill. And which I think not applicable only for us as therapists, but
Yes.
to parents. Kasi yun nga, like what we say, the inner language. Kung paano mo siya tinuruan, lumalabas yun sa kids. Kaya I
Yes.
guess it doesn't only apply to like ADHD kids or
Yes,
autism
yes.
kids, yung positive. Well, I think right now there's positive parents.
Yes, yes.
Diba? They're more aware of the mental health issues that this kid
Yes,
can
yes.
have.
And that's why we always need to include them. That's why in our practice,
True,
yeah.
true, true.
Actually, ito yung pinaka-thankful ako for like teachers like Teacher Izz in the clinics that I work in. Kasi you really see the teachers, including the parents and the family in the
Mm,
sessions.
true,
And
true.
there's really, it's a collaboration. So parang hindi nyo po pinipilit yung sarili nyo sa kanila, tsaka sa kids nila. Pero, you're still there. Parang the
True.
influence is there.
Medyo mahirap lang siya ipaintindi dun sa iba. I guess the good thing when we talk to them at their level, they would understand, diba? Where our support would be needed, and how they can support. Kasi at the end of the day, kasi yung iba, diba, inaakala na parang therapy, therapy, therapy lang. Well, in
Mm-hmm.
fact, di ba tatlo nga yung environment na kailangan. And home. Effective din talaga yung tele kasi it's coaching the support at
Yes.
home. I think core regulation
Yes.
kung alam ng support person on how to handle the kid, which is yun naman talaga dapat, yun yung, that would be the factor that would make you go there, like, get some games or not, or you talk to them on the same level.
You can really see the value of us as coaches. Kasi parang mas
True,
coach po
true.
talaga tayo.
True, true.
Parang most of the work will really come from the parents, the support person. And then you can see the next session if may progress agad. Di ba, Patis? Parang
Totoo.
ang
Kita
bilis.
agad. Kaya yun sa tele, di ba? Sa totoo lang. Kung yun, nakuha mo na same level. Kasi when we're doing therapy, you're not really changing. Yun siguro yung Filipino way of teaching. Akala nila you're just changing the person. Di ba,
Yes.
we change the task, we change the environment.
Yes.
Well, of
It's
course, in
everything.
between, we change the mindset. Di ba? Well, I get to accept it. Some people are not ready to support. Di ba? I mean, their patience is not like fit for that. So, what they need is another support person na
Exactly.
taga-support. Yun yung sinasabi na.
Yes.
No.
Na if we cannot do it by ourselves, let's seek professional help.
True.
Kasi it comes after. It always comes after if maayos naman yung support system mo.
True, true. That's very true. Diba?
Eh.
The support system talaga. Kasi it would make you functional in that sense. If the
Yes.
support is really high.
And lastly, Teacher Izz, what is your message to the support system and to people with ADHD, not just children, even adults?
Like, yeah. Yung message ko lang, like, assume competence, like, diba? And everything. Kasi every child can learn. That's what they say. What we have to change is the way we teach or the way we support. So yun, you can do your research too, like how you can teach your child well. But I guess hopefully I was able to help, diba, with those positive inner language. Kasi a big thing for ADHD nga is inner language.
Yes po.
And we don't want them to do the other route, diba? The other route of
Yes.
those with mental health disorders. Kaya bata pa lang ngayon. Support
Bata pa.
them, do kaya. Oh.
Yes.
Yun lang naman.
Yes. And for fellow ADHDers po, do you want to say
Fellow
something?
ADHD. The way to ADHD is knowing your brain. Know your brain. How your brain works. I can be ADHD, you can be ADHD, but we're still different.
Yes, yes.
Diba? So, recognize difference din talaga. But, coming up as a tribe, yun ang nakita ko, community kasi helps daw talaga in changing. Well, not the world, but changing cultural landscape kahit pa paano.
Yes po. Yes.
And I guess that's where advocacy comes. Diba?
Yes po.
Sa totoo lang, ang dami naman namin sa hindi lang diagnose.
Sobrang
Diba?
dami.
Oo. Kasi I guess it's the stigma. Yun. Like, make yourself be there and then, yeah, advocate.
It's
Diba?
not just to conform, it's also to recognize our own strengths.
True, true.
Yun. Thank you so much, Teacher Izz.
You're welcome.
Yeah,